Forget toxic positivity. Forget living in a surreal reality, absent of any negative experiences. We're not talking about that. I don't want to be a part of anything that's going to net me a negative outcome. I don't want to knowingly go in knowing that something is going to have me in a deficit and participate. The first two that I was talking about with the toxic positivity, I'm just going to sit back. I'm not going to make no moves. And I'm just going to think positive. Stuff is going to work out in my favor. Everything's going to be A-okay. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. Because that's not the way that life works. Yeah, sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. Without your input, sometimes the chips fall just how they fall. But you sitting back thinking that you don't have to do anything to garner some sort of a reaction that plays off in your favor, you're wrong. You're wrong. Now, I'm not talking about chasing things, pursuing things to a degree where it's just like, I'm going to chase it down because I just want this to work out in my favor. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is what steps are you taking towards doing whatever it is that you're trying to do. Even if you're adapting the attitude of, hey, I'm going to assume whatever this outcome is, it's already working out in my favor, that's still going to require something from your part. It's going to be more than you just thinking it. You're going to have to walk and act and do the part. What would it be? What would it look like in something working out in my favor? It's not going to be me stressing on it. It's not going to be me going around asking the people in my circle, hey, what do you think about this? How do you think that this is going to play out? X, Y, Z. It's not going to be any of that. So you see what I'm getting at here? About it going just a little further than you just thinking about, hey, everything's going to be A-okay? You moving on and making the moves that you need to make and going about your day and acting as assuming that worked out in your favor, that's you putting a good faith effort towards it. It's you not acting out of desperation or emotion because you, even though you're thinking this toxic, this positive attitude, which can, like I said, play out to your detriment if you're just sitting up here thinking, hey, everything's gonna be okay. There's nothing that I have to put forth any type of effort on. If you're just sitting there thinking that, but secretly, deep down in, you're just like, what if? What if? And then those what ifs manifest themselves in you checking in on things, making moves that you normally wouldn't have made off that so-called, I'm just going to sit back and relax. Everything's A-okay. It's positive. It's going against the very nature of what you're thinking. Then, like I said, you're setting yourself up for some disappointment there. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. Because if you were really believing that and thinking things were going to work positively, then you would continue to make moves in a healthy manner. Things that would play out in your favor. To where if that did work out against you, hey, at least you're stockpiling or you're doing something else to where, hey, well, you know what? I'm glad that I had basically, not that I was necessarily trying to work out a plan B, but I was making the moves that I thought that I would make. And it has me ahead. In other words, it didn't set me back. So I'm still trying to push on ahead, progress, have things work out in my way. Now, the other end of that spectrum, of what I was talking about, a way to tilt those scales in your favor, like another video, which I forgot the title of that video, but I know that I mentioned this. I want to put in on the things that are going to have a positive outcome. Yes, there are some investments to be made where maybe you might not see those results till down the road, but still you're putting a good foot forward. And you're taking a step in the right direction, and at least you're trying. So you're not absolutely investing in something else, to go back to the beginning of this video, something that you know is bad for you and you're just going to end up in the upside down on, and you're doing it because you're so caught up in the now, because you can't put that moment to resist what's not good for you, and you know that it's going to work out to your detriment. You can't put that down for a moment to think about the long term so you can make that negative into a positive. Then yeah, it's gonna burn you. It's gonna bite you. And that's how you come up with false positives, because you're tricking yourself into thinking, hey, well, yeah, I'm gonna do this just right now because this feels good. But you know that you're gonna come out in the deficit. You know that you're gonna come out on the other side with it not playing in your favor. You're setting yourself up. And you're setting yourself up for that other scenario that I was stating. Okay, I don't want to play those cards over there. I'm going to play these cards over here. Everything is just going to work out. Then what you find out, you find yourself in the middle going, neither one of these work. I am the result of just circumstance. Things out of my control. Guess, things just don't work out for me. Then now your inner perspective, it starts to change, and then the world is reflecting, which it was already doing from the get-go, is reflecting what you already had up off on the inside, because you were giving yourself false positives. Instead of truly changing the way that you're thinking about going about doing things. So your life can reflect the results of what you've already come to the conclusion to, and you truly embraced on the inside. So let's get the false positives out of there. That's the reason why when you go and you do certain tests, whether you have to fast for, or if they're testing for something, they ask you a series of questions so it doesn't taint the test, so they can know exactly what they're looking at. Hey, did you fast for X amount of hours? Did you only have water? Okay. Or if they're testing for this, hey, do you take any medications? Have you had XYZ in the last week or so? Because this may affect your blood work, whatever the case may be. Because if not, and you don't say that, and you just say, because you're scared, you don't want to tell on yourself for something that you may have been ingesting or doing, or maybe it just slipped your mind on some sort of medication, or whatever the case may be, like, I'm not going to say anything. Then when your test results come out and they're all wonky, and now they're trying to test you further for other things, you're not a victim of circumstance. What you're a victim of is your own choices and the consequences coming home to roost. See, that person with that thinking there, what they would think is, hey, see, that's the reason why I don't go to the doctor. Because, see, I ain't trying to buy on what they're telling me. No. Going to the doctor would have worked. See, you made a false positive. Going to the doctor would have worked, but you only went in that direction halfway. You did it half-heartedly. You went in there, you weren't honest on this, that, and the third. So the results that came back, and you went down this long, winding road of stuff you didn't have to go down, you did that. The doctor didn't do that. You created those false positives. I'm going to switch back over to this again. I'm just going to think positive. Yet I'm going to keep on doing the same thing that I'm doing that got me in this situation, that now I'm trying to create this reality that is absent of any bad choices. Although I made bad choices to get me into this reality, but I don't want to think about it. I'm going to think positive because other people said to think positive. Things will just work out. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to change up anything. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm just going to think positive about it. Okay, so what it worked out one way or the other, worked out in your favor a couple of times. Remember what I said earlier? Some things are just the way that they are. They fall 50-50. That doesn't mean that your method worked. It just means that you got lucky on this go around. So, taking both of these scenarios, trying to take luck out of it, and false positivity, or false positives, and then that toxic positivity that I was talking about, I just want to be positive and all. And as long as I do this, no, I don't want to accept any negative up off into my life. No, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be. Hey, man, life is going to take you there. That's setting yourself up too. If you're just thinking, oh, if I just adopt this up on the inside, nothing bad is ever going to happen to me. No, things are going to happen, but it's on what does your bounce back look like? How are you dealing with these things? Or you crashing and burning, or you're dealing with them the best way possible. You're trying to put these fires out so you can get this situation under control. That is what life is about. It's not full of bliss just because, hey, I'm just thinking this here, and nothing gonna disturb my bubble up of peace. Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. And yes, you do have a lot of degree of control over what things get inside, disturbs that peace, and working on that peace and that calmness so you can have that when everything is falling apart up around you, because you're going to make it through. You're going to make it through, but how are you reacting to the situations? And just how badly are you coming out from the situation? Like how badly beat up? You might catch some scars, but hey, they might not have to be that bad. So you're working with the imperfections that's up around you. Because after all, you're not perfect. So don't set yourself up as if everything is perfect. Everything will work out. Everything's going to be. No, I said this in another video when I've stated sometimes people get mad because they're just like, oh man, I didn't get that job. I applied up for that job. So what? How many jobs have you gotten and that other people didn't get? Remember, there's other people on this earth too, So with both of these situations, the false positives on this side, this reality, absent of anything bad happening to you, because you're just going to think in this good mind frame, and this middle ground, hey, neither one of these work because, might as well just leave everything up to chance. No, none of them have to be it. How are you responding? What's your bounce back look like? What are you talking about your bounce back? What is your wherewithal? Your ability to withstand the things that's going on around you and still proceed on pushing forward. What does that look like? What does it look like to take these negative experiences that have happened to you in your life and go, okay, you know what, that was experience. I might not necessarily want to go down that road or take that path because that didn't work out. Or it could have been a fluke, but how can I do this better? Make this foolproof so when I come up against it again, I can win. That's how you turn and tip the scales up off in your favor. That's how you're actually putting rubber to the road. You're actually taking some action behind your thoughts. And you can stay away from both of these, because both of these, actually all three of these mindsets that those false positives, like I said, going to the doctor and so forth, not being truthful on what's going down, but yet, hey, I made the right step. See, ain't nothing work. That's a false positive. And this reality that's absent of any negative thoughts. You're just trying to constantly stay in this state of bliss. And then this, the way the world is, nothing works out for me. All three of these is jacked up mind frames. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to build up a resilience? That's my take on it. Stay encouraged, avoid being discouraged. My name's Aim. Y'all have a good one.